A very good day to you, my dear students. So today we are going to discuss about the data analysis software SPSS, and today is second day of our discussion. What we discussed last session, that is our day one session, regarding the introduction of the SPSS. Then we know about what is this software, and then the different the characteristics, compare it with the Excel and SPSS software. Then we discuss about, actually we practically do the data enter session. That means we guide you how to enter data into the SPSS using variable view, and what are the special characteristics when we are entering data into this software. And we let you know about how to enter the nominal type of data with the different labels, and how to enter the interval type of data with the different labels, as well as you can also enter ordinal type data. So then in that session, I specifically ask you to make your questionnaire in a very standard form. That means if you are labeling your variables like gender as number one, in the gender category, male as a number one and female as a number two, etc. So please make sure that you have keep that numbering patterns in a proper way. Otherwise, you might be forgetting when you are entering the data. And then we discuss with you about how to make the data cleaning. That means how to check your typing errors and how to check the missing values that can be happen in your data entering process. So then after you are making all the clarification, so you can save your file, right? So please make sure that saving in a specific location in your laptop or in your PCs. So it is better for you to take them and make your practices again. And I ask all the students to take the trial version. So it is, I think, 3 months free. So you can get it through this link and download into your computer, and you can easily work through it. Right. So then today's session, actually day number 2, we are going to discuss about how to make the frequency analysis. That means we know that we collect data from the selected sample. Either you are taking it's a randomly selected or convenient sample, whatever. So in here, first of all, you need to give in your report regarding what are the demographic characteristic of your sample. That means how many males are representing in your sample, how many females are there, and what are their age categories, as well as if you are concerned about their income level or their occupation level, etc. So those are very important. Now, for an example, in our discussion example, that is the environmental citizenship behavior and personality traits. In that manner also, we need to know about, in that questionnaire first part, we need to know about the undergraduates' gender, their academic year, and their faculty, as well as their experiences, working experiences prior to the university entering, as well as the internship engagement. So likewise, those are we call demographic characteristics. So here we are going to do is we can use the frequency analysis. That can be, we can prepare a table, we can prepare charts in order to represent or in order to present your demographic profile or your sample profile, right? We first look at it and then we check with the pilot test analysis. So here what we mean by pilot test, I believe that when we are discussing in our data collection instrument like standard questionnaire or interview guide, I told you that we cannot make that questionnaire available for your entire population or your sample, selected sample in first shot. Right? අපි දන්නවා සාමාන්‍යයෙන් standard questionnaire එකක් අපි හැදුවාම හරි ඔයගොල්ලන් interview guide එකක් හරි හැදුවාම මේක එකපාර ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ selected sample එකට දාලා check කරන්නේ නැහැ. Right? So before you are going with the mass scale or large scale data analysis, like your selected sample 300 or 500, we need to check it with the small portion of your sample. Actually, that pilot test does not represent your sample. Before we are moving to the sample, we need to check it with your friends or with your very close contacts, whether your questionnaire is okay to make the final data collection. අපි අර ලොකු data collection එකකට යන්න කලින්, ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ entire sample selection එකකට ගිහිල්ලා questionnaire එක distribute කරන්න කලින් අපි බලන්න ඕනේ අපේ questionnaire එක okay ද කියලා. Right? So in a pilot test, what we are going to do is actually, right? So pilot test, what we are going to do is actually we check, right? We check whether our questionnaire, right here I'm talking about the questionnaire because we are using the quantitative data analysis. Therefore, it is not useful to concern about the interview guide in this manner. But the pilot test also you can do with the interview guide, because you have to conduct at least 1-2 interviews with your selected sample unit in order to make sure that your interview guide is okay. Right? So here what we are doing in the pilot test, in the structured questionnaire, we need to check whether our questionnaire is easy to understand, right, and free of typing errors, right, and formatting is okay, right, and whether the what would be the time that take to complete the questionnaire. That means no average time, right? So these kind of things we need to check preliminary before we are moving to the main data collection, right? So we have to check whether our questionnaire is easy to understand. That means once you are giving it to your friends or someone, so they ask them whether they can understand what we are supposed to ask. So අහන්න ඕනේ අපි මෙයාට තේරෙනවද අපි මේ අහන්න හදන දේ. Right? But if a respondent does not understand what the questionnaire is about, then your data collection process going to be completely invalid. Right? අපිට ඕන දේ නෙමෙයි නම් measure වෙන්නේ. එතනින් අනිවාර්යෙන්ම අපි ගත්ත questionnaire එකකින් එන responses invalid වෙනවා. Right? So then we have to check whether we are making any typing errors, right? Our formatting is okay. It is very neat and tidy. Okay, and we can make sure that what would be the average time that taken to complete the questionnaire. Right? එතකොට අපිට questionnaire එක දෙනකොට කියන්න පුළුවන් respondent මේකට 10 to 15 minutes වගේ තමයි යන්නේ. ඉතින් මේ වගේ time එකක් අපිත් එක්ක spend කරලා මේක fill කරලා දෙන්න කියලා කියන්න පුළුවන්. Right? So these are things we are going to check with the pilot test. Right? So in a pilot test analysis using the SPSS software, what we are going to do is we are trying to make sure that our questions, that mean our measurement items, are statistically reliable to go with the final data collection. So the pilot test analysis එක අපි මොකද්ද කරන්නේ? අපි අර questionnaire එක මුලින්ම check කරනවානේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ හිතවතුන් එක්ක කීප දෙනෙක් අපි ළමයි අඩුම තරමේ 25ක් 30ක මේක check කරනවා. So මේක check කරනකොට overall අපි මෙන්න මේ ටික check කරනවා. හරි මේක හරියද කියන එක. ඊට අමතරව මේ pilot test analysis එකේ අපි කරන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ check questionnaire එකේ consistency එක. That means we know the consistency means the reliability. Right? That is one of the measurement, goodness of measurement in our data analysis process. Right? So in the pilot test analysis, what we are going to do is we are going to check, right, whether our measurement items are reliable. So what do you mean by reliable? Reliable means we want to make sure that our measurement items are appeared or measurement items are representing the consistent level. Again, අපි බලනවා අර දෙන උත්තර consistent level එකකද තියෙන්නේ අපේ measurement items වල කියලා. ඕක තමයි අපි check කරන්නේ pilot test analysis එකේ. Right? So the measurement items are reliable. That is the main thing we are going to check with the pilot test. And remember, in a pilot test, we do not check, right? I highlight it, we do not check validity. Right? Please remember this part because we are not checking the validity. Right? We do check whether our measurement items are reliable. Right? In pilot test analysis, we are not checking this. Right? We are not checking the validity. We only check the reliability. Right? Therefore, please remember this word do and do not. Okay? That's the thing we need to remember very simply what we mean by pilot test. Okay? Right. So that's the thing we need to highlight in the pilot test. Then we will guide you how to do with this pilot test analysis. Right? And lastly, we let you know, actually this can be done before we are doing the pilot test. Therefore, I do it in the second way. Right? Sometimes in your questionnaire, you might be asked negative and positive questions. What do you mean by negative and positive question? Right? So we know that when the respondents are filling, some respondents are there, they just stick with the pattern. Right? අපි දන්නවා සමහර ඉන්නවා අපිට question එකක් දුන්නා fill කරන්න ගියාම සමහර පුද්ගලයෝ ඉන්නවා pattern එකට නිකන් ගහගෙන යනවා ඔක්කොටම strongly agree. For some others they are just sticking strongly disagree. So that is the behavior of some of the respondents. Right? So in order to overcome that kind of misleading behavior of the respondent, actually, ඒ වගේ responses වලින් අපිට ගන්න තියෙන මේ අපේ data වලට තියෙන මේ validity and reliability අඩුයි. ඒ වගේ pattern අපි අඩු කරගන්න මොකද කරන්නේ? We are asking mix of negative and positive questions in order to measure your variable or your factor. Right? So here we are asking positive type of question or positive form as well as negative form. So negative form questions. Right? Now for an example, if you think about like this example, right? Right? You ask the question like this. I can bear the price of chocolate. Right? You ask the question, I can bear the price of chocolate. Okay? So is it a positive or negative term? This is a positive term. This is a positive form of question. Right? This is a positive form of question. For the same time, you can ask another example. Same time, you can ask price of chocolate. Price of chocolate is not bearable to me. Right? Now it's asked the price of chocolate is not bearable to me. Right? So this is what we call as a negative form of question. Right? These are we call negative form of questions. This is a positive form of question. Right? So you can see we are asking different form of question to make sure that respondents are much aware with what we are asking. Right? Now for an example, assuming that now when you are given the respondents this type of question, if response is bear with the price, so he can say strongly agree or agree. Right? Agree, or he can say strongly agree if he can bear. Right? The same respondent, if you ask in the question, right? Now, first question, he said strongly agree or agree. But the price of chocolate is not bearable to me. That is a negative form of question. So the same respondent might say, I am disagree or strongly disagree. Right? Or It says disagree and strongly disagree, isn't it? Same, right? The same question, same respondent, you are asking two different form of question. For the positive form of question, the respondent say, yes, the price of the chocolate is bearable for me. Therefore, he agree with the statement or strongly agree with the statement. But if you ask in the negative form of question for that respondent, definitely he is going to be disagree or strongly disagree. Right? So in the other way around, we can also see some other form, right? If a respondent is not agree with the first part, that means he cannot bear it, right? price so then he disagree with the first question, right? First question he disagree or strongly disagree, right? Agree or strongly disagree. For the second question, then the price of chocolate is not bearable to me, then he agree or strongly agree. You see the difference, right? You see the difference. Based on the respondent's first opinion, the second question opinion might be same. මේ දෙකම එකක් වෙන්න ඕනේ. හැබැයි එන්නේ දෙවිදිහකට. එකක් positive form එකට agree වුණොත් negative form එකට අනිවාර්යෙන්ම එයා disagree වෙන්න ඕනේ. Right? If a positive form එකට එයා disagree වුණොත් අනිවාර්යෙන්ම negative form එකට එයා agree වෙන්න ඕනේ. But what will happen if the both statement is going to be disagree? මේ දෙකටම disagree වුණොත් මොකෝ වෙන්නේ? I can bear the price of chocolate, he also disagree. Price of the chocolate is not bearable but to me, that also disagree. So what can you say about that respondent? So that respondent is not very much keen about your questions asked. Right? So then you can remove that respondent's responses, right? Or you can go with the next sample unit. ඒ වගේ responses අපි ගන්න නැහැ. ඇයි අපි හොඳටම දන්නවා ඒ අහලා තියෙන ප්‍රශ්න දෙකට දෙවිදිහක් ඒ දෙවිදිහට උත්තර දෙන්න ඕනේ දෙආකාරයකට. හැබැයි දීලා තියෙන එකම විදිහට නම් ඒකෙන් අපිට තේරෙනවා එයා ඒ question එක හරියට කියවලා නැහැ. Right? So that's the thing, we have to be very careful when you are making in the questionnaire. Right? So that's what we are going to do in our questionnaire. We have to convert our responses into one unique pattern, right? Either we have to take it as a positive values or we have to take it as a negative values, right? Now, what do you mean by that? Right? Now, for an example, assuming that for positive form question, right? So positive form question, if you agree, or you can strongly agree, right? That is a positive form question. Okay, and the negative form questions, negative form question in the same way, right? In the negative form question, you disagree or you strongly disagree, isn't it? The same, right? You agree or strongly disagree, right? So what will happen in our data sheet in here for the positive form? We know that we are typing either 4 or 5, right? So our Likert scale, it is 1 to 5 Likert scale if you are using. So we have to type either 4 or 5 number, right? But in the negative form of question, we know that either we have 1 or 2. Right? එතකොට positive form එකට උත්තර දෙන එක්කෙනා agree වුණොත් එයා අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම 4යි 5යි කියන ස්කේල් එකට use කරන්නේ. ඒතකොට negative form කියන එක්කෙනාට එයා disagree වුණොත් එයා 1යි 2යි කියන එක තමයි use කරන්නේ. Right? The same two question, its responses. Now see, there is a referent. Right? එතකොට දැන් මේකම අපි enter කරොත් අපි මේකේ reliability එක බලපු ගමන් වෙන්නේ මොකද? මේ negative form question එක invalid කියලා අපිට පේනවා. Right? දැන් අපි අහලා තියෙන ඔක්කොම positive එක මේක නම් negative form එකම question එක අර ඔක්කොටම agree වෙච්ච එක්කෙනා මේකට disagree වෙලානේ. Right? So then the consistency of our measurement item going to be violated. Right? So therefore, we are to either, if we have positive form 4 questions and negative form 1 question, we have to convert this negative forms responses into the positive form. එහෙනම් මොකද කරන්නේ මේ negative form එකට දීපු උත්තර ටික අපි convert කරනවා positive form එකට. Right? So here what we are going to do is, right? If you are typing 1 for negative form question, right? If you are asking positive form question, definitely that person strongly agree. Right? So likewise, we need to convert it to the positive forms. Right? So what we are going to do is here, for the strongly disagree one, we are converting into strongly agree. Right? That's the thing we are doing. Strongly disagree one, we are converting into strongly agree. So here, disagree one, we are converting into agree. So number 3 is doesn't matter because it is a neutral, no? Right? Number 3 always it a neutral. Right? But what will happen? They strongly agree with the negative form. Right? So that means for the positive form, disagree with the agree with the negative form. Right? I'm really sorry. Agree with the negative form mean if you ask in the positive, that person is going to be disagree. So therefore, for the agreement with the negative form, you have to convert it as disagree. Right? So then strongly agree with the negative form. Strongly agree with the negative form. If you ask in the positive form, that person is going to be strongly disagree. Okay? That's the thing we are going to do. Right? So here what we are trying to do is in our next data analysis example, we will let you know. Okay? Right. Now move into the data set and let's see how this is going to be happen. Right? Okay. Right now we are moving to the data sheet that we used to check with the pilot test as well as the sample profile characteristics representing, right? So this is the data sheet, actually one of the data sheet I use for one of our study, right? If you go back to the variable view, now you can see it asks about the demographic characteristic like this, right? I'm using different data set, not with our discussing example, to make sure that how to check the reliability in your pilot test, right? So these are the sample profile data. It's asked about the gender, it's asked about age, it asks about the staff, that means occupation, the working experience, right? And then as well as education level. If you see the labels we are using, right? For the male, 1 for male and 2 for female, and age also categorized into different groups, right? And job level also categorized into 4 levels, and job experience categorized into different levels, less than 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, more than 15, etc. As well as education also categorized into 5 level, right? So these are the demographic characteristic of our sample, right? So this questionnaire representing 4 variables, right? 4 variables, that means team commitment and consulting, observation, and the performance. So performance is a dependent variable, and observation, consulting, and team commitment are the independent variables. Okay. So in order to measure the team commitment, there are 7 measurement items. In order to measure the consulting, there are 6 measurement items. In order to measure the observation variable, there are 5 measurement items. And for the performance, also 5 measurement items. Now, this is the questionnaire construct to measure some specific model in this study, right? So before we are moving to the main data collection, as I mentioned you with our discussion, first of all, we need to make sure that in the pilot test, our our questionnaire, our structured questionnaire is okay and it is free of errors, right? And here one thing I really forget again, here you have to put the questionnaire number. Okay, please don't forget about it. I also forget it in here, questionnaire number, right? Please put it in here in the questionnaire number, right? Then you can easily type the questionnaire number in here. I think I have 1 to 30 numbers, right? Likewise, you can put your numbers, sorry. Okay, likewise, you have to put your numbers in here, right? So what we are going to do in now first, right, as what we discussed in our discussion session, right? First, let's see how many female and how many males are there, what are their age category, what are their experience level, etc., etc. Right? I think in our first session also we do this frequency analysis. Here I let you know how to prepare it in different levels, as well as you can also put a chart. Right? So if you want to get the table, I told you that it is very simple. You can go to analyze, right? You can go to analyze under the descriptive statistic. You can go with the frequencies, analyze, descriptive statistics, and then frequencies. You pick it. Then you select what are the variables that you want to make sure the sample profile characteristics, right? Here you can select your characteristics, right? Male, female, and everything, and put it in here, right? So here statistic, you can take it as a mean, median, mode, and sum, whatever you like, right? Remember, whether you are using, once you are using nominal type of data, you can only have mode, right? If you are using ordinal type of data, still you can use mode. But if you are using interval or ratio scale, in our SPSS only scale type data, then you can use mean, median, standard deviation, variation, etc., etc. Right? Since my demography factors are all coming under nominal data, I don't need all these things because I just need to how many persons are there, right? So here you can either select the percentage, where I can get, wait a minute. No, it's already coming. So just click OK. Right. So here you can see the data view, that means your output view. Right. You can see the output view. Right. Then you see that there is no missing value in my data set. Remember, before moving to the data analysis, do the data cleaning first. Right. Here it representing 17 out of 30 male and 13 out of 30 female. So you can get the percentage also. Right. So valid percentage mean if you have some missing value, they remove that missing value and calculate the valid percentage. Since our data set doesn't have any missing value, so percentage and valid percentage all are same. Right. So you can use this table into your sample profile representation or present sample profile. Right. The only thing you need to do is just right click in the table and copy it and paste it into the Word or Excel format. right මේක ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ලේසියෙන්ම හදින්න ඕනේ නැහැ කෙලින්ම ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ sample profile එක ගැන පෙන්නන්න ඕන නම් මේ table එකේ right click කරා copy කරා ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ word document එකේ paste කරා right likewise you can do age group and then staff level. Here you can see junior level there are 13, operation level 10, middle level 1, and the percentage also given, work experience, etc., etc. right? So this is a way you can represent your sample profile using tables, right? But if you prefer to go with the graph, sometimes I know people are going with like bar chart, pie chart, etc. So sometimes students are more prefer to go with charts rather than go with table. Now some other students like no, ඒගොල්ලෝ කැමති chart විදියට represent කරන්න. Right? Table නැතුව. ඉතින් ඒක සමන්ට කැමති විදියට කරන්න පුළුවන්, but don't use both in your report. Right? Report එකේ දෙකම දාන්න එපා කොයි වෙලේවත්. Okay? If you want to go with the chart, right? You can use this graph button. Right? You can use this graph command button and come into that legacy dialog. Right? Come into that legacy dialog then you can select whatever the bar chart you like, right? I prefer the pie chart because it's easy for us to do it, right? It again asks whether you are going for the summaries for the group of case, summaries of the separate variables, values of individual cases. You have several options, right? Let's go with the summaries for group of cases. That means all the cases we put it as a summary, right? So you can define it. Then you can get the chart right here. Let's say about the row, you can get female. Okay, and age level, you can get the column. Sorry, I think it's had to be go with the staff level, right? So let's see what we are getting, right? Because I'm not using these charts in our cases. I'm not very much familiar with the case, but let's see what we are getting in the chart. See, you can get the staff level with the different age groups with the male and female. Now, 3 represent one chart, right? Or else you can go with the chart legacy dialog and pie chart. You can go with the separate variables and define it, right? Here, what we're going to do is, let's see, size is representing this, and again, age group and the staff level. What is this? I'm not sure. Okay. That's all. Right. It's not happening because if it is there, it's this OK button needs to be worked with, right? I don't know. Let's see what happened in here. It's again getting as some kind of comparative form, but I don't know how we are here. It says about age levels. It's categorized into staff level, right? So it's like something that way. Okay, so you can use it. Since I am not using this kind of graphs in my data presentation, I am not very much familiar, but you can use whatever in here, right? And find out how the things are happening in charts. So bar chart also there. Either you can go with a simple chart, right? And then here you can again select the male or female in your categorical axis and age for the row. And likewise, you can represent the chart graph as a bar chart, right? So you can do it. Right? I hope you understand how to do it. Just only go with this graph. In the legacy dialog, you select all the bar charts, right? So that's the way. Even in the table also, you can go with this kind of comparison study, right? Like in one row, you can represent how many males and representing with the different occupation level, right? For here, you can use that analyze, right? For that kind of comparative table, right? So here, descriptive statistic, right? Analyze descriptive statistic. You can go with cross-tab. The cross-tab indicate that you are comparing 2 variables together or 2 characteristics together and make the comment, right? Here you can use the male and female for row and age group for column, right? And here you can, for the statistic, you can go with the either high square correlation, etc. But in here, we don't need those things, right? Here, either you can use the percentage of rows or percentage of columns, right? Just click it and see, right? Data, right? Just click OK. Now what you can see? So you can see the comparison with female and male and female with the category of age groups, right? එතකොට මේ table එකෙන් පෙන්නනවා males ගේ කී දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවද අවුරුදු 20යි 30යි අතර. අවුරුදු 31යි 40යි අතර සහ ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ percentage එක. ඊට පස්සේ female ලා කී දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවද අවුරුදු 20යි 30යි අතර කීයද, right? Likewise, you can go with so many things in the cross-tab. If you don't go to age and if you go with the staff level, again you can tick it, right? Here you can say how many males are representing in the junior level staff, operation level staff, middle level staff and top level staff. See here you can see females are not representing top management. So then you can make the conclusion that in your sample, no woman has a chance to getting into the top management, right? Or your sample does not representing any female who are counting with the top management level. Right? Likewise, you can make the explanation in your sample profile. Right? So basically go with this kind of graph. It is better to use this kind of table because these are well academic writing. අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් undergraduate level එකේ මේ වගේ chart use කරන්නේ නැහැ ඔය sample profile represent කරන්න. But if you prefer, you can do it. But we very much prefer if you are going with this kind of cross tabulation or cross steps, or at least this kind of table. Right? මේ වගේ table වලින් represent කරන්න පුළුවන්. But මේ cross tab එකකින් ඕනම විස්තරයක් ඒ කියන්නේ දෙකක් එකට එකතු කරලා අපිට විස්තර කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක ඉතාමත් පහසුයි. Okay, so you can use this kind of thing for your sample profile representation. Right? So that's the first part in our today's session. Now we are going to let you know how to convert that positive form of question responses into negative form, or negative form of responses into positive form. Right? So you can do it. Right? So I let you know how to do it, since I'm not sure what is that questionnaire measurement items, either negative or positive. But you have to make sure that in your questionnaire, what are the questions you are asking in terms of negative or positive. In the හරියටම දැනගන්න questionnaire එකේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ මොනවද වෙනස් කරේ කියන questions specifically identify කරගෙන ඉන්න. මොකද ඒවා අපි මේ first initial step එකේදී වෙනස් කළ යුතුයි. Right? So let's see how to do it. Now assuming that, right, අපි assume කරමු in my questionnaire, in my data view, right, in my data view, this what we see, අපි නිකන් උදාහරණයක් ගමුද, in my data view this TC2 is a negative form question. Right? TC2 is a negative form question. What is that? That is mean, so I'm asking negative form of question from the respondents whether remaining of the questions are positive form. Again, ඉතුරු question 6ම positive form එකේ තියෙන්නේ. හැබැයි මේ TC2 කියන එක negative form එක. So I want to convert that responses into TC2 into positive form. Right? So let's see how to do it. Right? Here you have to see the command called transform. Right? Here you can use the term called transform. Right? What we can do is either we can change this column as it is. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ column එකේ මෙතනම මේක වෙනස් කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? Or else we can use separate space to change that thing. Right? In your level, it is better to go with the separate level because we have to keep the original value. අපි හැම වෙලේම respond එක original එක තියාගන්න හැම වෙලේම. අපි වෙනස් කරන ඒවා වෙනම වෙනස් කරමු. Right? Therefore, in a transform, you have to go with the record in the same variable mean this is going to be changed in this column itself. මේ column එක මේකෙම වෙනස් වෙනවා. But if you are going with the transform record into different variable, then the new column open and you can change it that way. Right? So it is better to go with the second one. Transform, record into different variable, tick it, then you will open another variable, another window, and here you need to select what is the variable you need or what is the measurement item you need to change. Select it and take it into your right hand side value. Take a right hand side again. Okay. So in here it asks what is the new name of the changing value or changing item. Then අපි මේකට අලුත් නමක් දෙන්න ඕනේ. මොකද දැන් අපි මේක වෙනම තැනකනේ මාරු කරන්නේ. Okay. So then therefore we have to change the name. I put it as new TC2. Right? Here also remember this name command, you cannot keep space. If you need a lengthy name, you can type it in the label. Right? But it does not necessary. So once you type the name, just click this button change. So you can see it's getting appearing here. Okay, it's getting appearing here. Then you can also see there is another command called here all and new values. Right? All and new values. You have to take it. Right? You have to take it and just tick old and new value. Right? So here then you are asking what are your old values and what you need to convert it as a new value. Okay, then මම අර ඉස්සෙල්ලා explanation එකේ පෙන්නුවේ. අපි negative form එකට යා strongly disagree නම් positive දුන්නොත් යා strongly agree වෙනවා. So likewise you have to convert in old value into new value. So if our old value is 1, අපි කියමු අපේ පරණ වැලියු එක එක නම් ඒ කියන්නේ අපි නෙගටිව් ෆෝම් එකට යා දීලා තියෙන්නේ strongly disagree නම්, but if you ask in the positive form we definitely strongly agree. So then new value should be 5. If all value is 1, so your new value, that means if you are converting into positive term, it's going to be 5. Then tick this add button and your change in value is appear in this old and new window, old and new box, right? So then the old value 2 indicates that new value has to be 4. Then click add again, right? So old value 3 doesn't mean any sense. It's only 3. So you can tick in here. If all value is 4, your new value should be 2, right? Add in here. And if your old value is 5, that means your new value should be 1 and in here. So you can see the pattern what we discussed in our previous session. Right? It doesn't indicate that the values only, right? You can change some values in here also. If you can use ranges, the lowest value you can convert into some other values, some other forms, right? The highest value you can convert into other forms. You can do so many things in here, right? Not only the values, right? If you click the range, it will change. If you click this range, it will change, right? Only thing you need to do is what is your old value and what is your new value. Right? But please keep it into new column. Right? Don't change it your initial one. Respond original response. Right? So once you convert it, then continue with the click and then press OK. Right? So if you go to your sorry, where is it? If you go to your now data view, right? You go to your data view, you can see at the end it's appear new TC2, right? You can change it column, decimal places, and now you can see new TC2 is appearing here. Okay, so that's the way you have to convert it, the negative into positive or positive into negative. Right? The same thing you can do. Right. So now that is the second part in our today's session. Now we are moving to the most important topic or discussions today. We are going to check whether our pilot data analysis or this kind of initial data collection is okay or they are reliable. Then we pilot test kara. So now how student might be asked, how many data we need to collect or how many responses we need to collect to conduct pilot test, right? So it at least you need to have 20 data set or 20 responses. අඩුම තරමේ responses 20ක්වත් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. Okay, අඩුම තරමේ responses 20ක්වත් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. 30ක් වගේ තියෙනවා නම් තමයි හොඳම කියලා කියන්නේ. Right? You need to have at least 20 responses, 30 is better. Right? Therefore, once you finish your questionnaire setting, again questionnaire ගිහුවට පස්සේ ask your friend to complete it. Ask your friend to fill it. Right? Then first ask your friends whether they can understand what the questions ask. Right? That is our initial stages. Right? Whether they are clear with the question we are asking. Whether they found any typing errors. Whether they found any mismatching in the formatting. Even though මුලින්ම test කරන්න. Okay? Then we are going to check whether our measurement items. So these are our measurement items now. Whether these measurement items are consistent. Right? Here what we are going to do with the consistent mean. Here for the first variable, I think team commitment or whatever, it has 7 measurement items. Now we need to make sure that whether these 7 measurement items responses are consistent. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ අපි අහලා තියෙන ප්‍රශ්න හතරටම එක ආකාරයට එහෙම නැත්නම් එකම pattern එකටද responses ලා උත්තර දීලා තියෙන්නේ කියන එක තමයි අපි reliability එකෙන් බලන්නේ. That we are going to check. Right? In the pilot test, we also going to check that reliability, because if we find that the questions are not in the consistent level, we have to change it before we are going to the main data collection. Main data එකට යන්න කලින් ඔය පොඩි දේවල් අපි හදාගෙන යන්න ඕනේ. Right? That's why we need to conduct pilot test. Okay, so let's see, without making take any times anymore, let's see how to do it. Right? So in order to do the pilot test analysis or pilot test reliability analysis, you have to go with this analyze, right? Go to this analyze and then go to the item called scale, right? Analyze, scale, right? Here under the scale, go to the first command we call reliability analysis, right? Analyze, scale, reliability analysis, then select it. Okay, so here you get another window open, that is a reliability analysis window. Now in here what you are asking, we ask SPSS to make sure that our first variable 7 measurement items, so you can select all the 7 measurement items, are reliable, right? So you can select or you can take one by one like this, or else you can select all and take them into the right hand side box, right? Now we ask SPSS to make sure that these 7 measurement items are in consistent manner in order to measure our team commitment variable, right? So once you select it, go to this command called statistic. Statistic command, just pick it, right? Here what we need to do is, you need to select item, scale if item deleted, right? Select item, scale if item deleted, and for the int item, you need to select correlation, right? Item, scale if item deleted, as well as the correlation. Please select these 3 things in your reliability analysis statistic box. මේ තුන ටික් කරලා තියාගන්න. Okay, right. Then we click the continue and press OK. Make sure that you have to select items for each variable at once. හැම variable එකකම තියෙන items ටික එකපාර select කරලා ගන්න. right? හැබැයි ඔක්කොම ටික අපිට ගන්න බෑ. ඒක මතක තියාගන්න, අපිට variable එකෙන් variable එකට තමයි reliability එක check කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? Okay, then press OK. So now we are coming to the output view. I hope you can see it. Yes, right. Now this is the result you are getting for the first measurement items representing our team commitment variable. Right? So team commitment variable එකේ තිබ්බා measurement items 7ක්. So අපිට pilot test analysis එකේ මුලින්ම අපි කරන්නේ මේ measurement item 7 කොච්චර දුරට reliable ද කියන එක measure කරනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ දීලා තියෙන උත්තර ප්‍රශ්න 7ට දීලා තියෙන උත්තර කොච්චර දුරට එකිනෙකට එකක් සමාන්තරව ගිහිලා තියෙනවද කියලා. Right? So if we say agree with the first item, whether he disagree with the second item. Right? If there are some mismatching with the measurement items, that indicate our items are not reliable. Right? Right. Now these are the results for reliability for our first variable called team commitment. It representing 7 measurement items. Now please look at the values. So reliability, what we are first checking is under the reliability test, right? Under the reliability test, what we are checking is this CROMBA value, or we call Combrach alpha value. Combrach alpha value, right? For the validity, for the reliability, for this Combrach alpha value has to be, right? At least for the pilot test, right? This is for the pilot test. At least it has to be greater than 0.6. It has to be greater than 0.6, at least, right? But it is better if you have a value greater than 0.7. Right? For the pilot test, since we are having only 30 questions, 30 measurements, 30 responses, therefore we feel that it is at least better to have 0.6. Right? But the standard value is 0.7. මතක තියාගන්න standard value එක තමයි COMBRA value එක හැම වෙලේම 0.7ට වඩා වැඩි වෙන්න ඕනේ. Since pilot test we are using only very limited responses like 30, 20 to 30, we believe that at least it has to be greater than 0.7. Right? Now what you can see from this value? So here what we get in the value is 0.206. Now it is less than 0.6. Sorry, 0.6. So what is your conclusion? Now in the team commitments, measurement items have some issue with reliability. දැක්කද? ඒකේ තාම issues තියෙනවා reliability එකයි. අපි අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා 0.6ක්. හැබැයි අපිට අවිලා තියෙන 0.2ක්. Right? Very large difference. Okay, so it will indicate that the responses we are getting for the 7 measurement items in team commitment variable are not in a consistent manner. Right? ඒකේ පොඩි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා කියන එක ඕන දැන් අපිට පෙනීගෙන යනවා. Right? So then keep that Cromwell value here. Please come into this inter-item correlation matrix. Inter-item correlation matrix. What is this inter-item correlation matrix mean? Inter-item correlation. So you know what is the meaning of correlation, right? That is the correlation or associate between one item to another item, right? Remember, correlation doesn't mean that there is a cause and effect. Correlation එකක් කියලා අපි හැම වෙලෙම කියන්නේ association එක. අපි සිංහලෙන් කියනවා සහ සම්බන්ධය. Right? Correlation doesn't indicate that there is a cause and effect. ඒ කියන්නේ A ඇති වුණ හින්දා B ඇති වුණා කියන්න බෑ අපිට. Right? A තිබ්බ හින්දා B තියනවා කියන්න බෑ. Okay? Remember, we are measuring correlation in association, but relationship means cause and effect. Right? So what is this inter-item correlation matrix mean to you? Right? So it indicates that how far measurement item 1, that is measurement item 1, right? TC1 going to be correlate with TC2, right? Going to be correlated with TC3, going to be correlated with TC4. Likewise, it indicates us how this is the one measurement items associate with other measurement items. මේක අපිට හරස් අතට බලන්නත් පුළුවන්, මේ පල්ලෙහාට බලන්නත් පුළුවන්, right? If you go with the TC1, you can see the same result, right? මේ එකම result එක තමයි මේ පේන්නේ. See this one. So this one. Here this one. Here this one you can see, right? That's why we call it as a matrix. Okay, right? So you can see it, right? So this is the matrix, right? So what is that matrix mean to you then? What is the matrix mean to you then? So the condition is for the matrix. So in this inter-item correlation matrix, the condition is, or the standards are, what is the standard? This inter-item correlations between one measurement item to another measurement item has to be at least 0.3 to 0.9. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ එක item එකක් තව item එකක් අතර තියෙන correlation එක එහෙම නැත්නම් association එක අඩුම තරමේ එකක්වත් 0.3-0.9ක් අතර තිබිය යුතුයි. That is a condition for whether our measurement items are reliable. Right? Remember that condition. Once you want to make sure that your measurement items are reliable, at least one of the measurement item with the other measurement items, the correlation has to be in between 0.3 to 0.9. Right? So let's see first one. Let's see the first one. So item number 1 with item number 2, right? It's 0.260. Okay. But item number 3 to item number 1, it is 0.397. You can see at least item number 1 correlate with other item with the standard point value. So මේ item number 1 එක අඩුම තරම එකක් එක්ක හරි මේ 0.3-0.9 අතර තියෙනවා. Right? ඒ කියන්නේ මේක අඩුම තරම එකක්ක් තියෙනවා නේ. කියන්නේ 0.397 කියන්නේ මේක අතරනේ. Again, item number 1, reliability is okay. Right? Now remember, we don't need to have all the values between 3.3 to 0.9. Students are පටලවා ගන්නවා මේ හැම value එකක්ම 0.3 අතර තියෙනවා. No. At least one correlation with one item has to be 0.3 to 0.9. Okay? Then look at the second one. මම එන්න දෙවෙනි එකට. Right? Then look at the second one. Look at it. First one, it is less than 3. So 1 means the same one, right? එයත් එක්ක අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම එකයි නෙන්නේ. ඒක ගණන් ගන්න බෑ. Third one, that means TC2 to TC3, again less than 3. So 0.3, less than 0.3, less than 0.3, less than 0.3, less than 0.3. So what do you mean? So what is the conclusion for the TC2? So TC2 indicate that there are some issue with the reliability in this measurement item. Right? May TC2 එකේ measurement items වල, ඒ කියන්නේ TC2 කියන measurement item වල item එකේ පොඩි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා reliability එක සම්බන්ධයි. Right? Okay, let's check with the third one also. That's also good, right? Because at least one is between 0.3 to 0.9. So මේකක් තියෙනවා. Right? මේකේ මෙතන හරියි. Right? Get the fourth one. Make sure that fourth one, none. හතරවෙනි එකෙත් නැහැ. Make sure the fifth one, no. Right? And make sure the third one, yes. And it doesn't mean that negative value and positive value, right? Even it is a negative or positive, it has to be this value. That means absolute value has to be 0.3 to 0.9. Remember that point, right? This absolute value. Absolute කියන්නේ negative or positive කියන එක ගණන් ගන්න බෑ. Absolute value 0.3 to 0.9. Right? So third one, there are sixth one, it's okay. We have two things. For the last one, again, it's okay because we have one item greater than 0.3 and less than 0.9. Right? So it is okay. Right? Then make හැම එකක්ම අපිට 0.3 to 9 හම්බුණා. Rather than this item number 2, this one having issue. Item number 4, this one having issue, and item number 5 also having issue. Right? And if you are getting values more than 0.9, right, what will happen? If you are having a value more than 0.9, that also indicate there are some issue with the reliability. Right? දැන් අපි මෙතන බැලුවේ 0.3ට වැඩි ඒවානේ ගොඩක් ඒවා. 0.9ට වඩා වැඩි වුණොත් මොකෝ වෙන්නේ? 0.9ට වඩා වැඩි වුණත් එතනත් ප්‍රශ්නයක් එනවා. That's are highly correlated. That measurement items are highly correlated. That means, for an example, assuming that T1 with T2 value is 0.960. Right? Now, for an example, assuming that TC1 to TC2 correlation item or correlation metric, correlation item value, assuming that it is 0.926. Assuming that, right? This is not values in here. It is 0.926. So what is that indicate? So that is indicate TC1 and TC2 are highly correlated. TC1 and TC2 are highly correlated. What do you mean by highly correlated? So highly correlated means the responses given to that TC1 and TC2 are very much similar, right? So responses given to TC1 and TC2 are very much similar. So what does that mean? So that means both questions are equal. Both questions are equal. So that's why you are getting same response for all two questions. හැමෝගෙම answers එකයි. කාගවත් වෙනසක් වෙලා නැහැ. That's why we are getting correlation item value greater than 0.9. Right? So that means either TC1 or TC2 you have to remove from the questionnaire. right ඔයාට එතකොට අයින් කරන්න වෙනවා එක්ක TC1 හරි එහෙම නැත්නම් TC2 හරි right ඒක ඔයා question එක අහලා තියෙන විදිහට question එකේ wording කරලා තියෙන විදිහ බලලා ඒක අයින් කරන්න පුළුවන් right this is what happening when you are having greater than 0.9 value. Now let's come back to our issue right now. Since we are having 3 measurement items which are having less correlation item like 0.3. يعني එක item එකක්වත් අනිත් item එකත් එක්ක 0.3කට වඩා වැඩියෙන් ඇවිල්ලා නැහැ. So that indicate TC2, TC4 and TC5 having some issue with the reliability. So then what we can do? Before we are going with the remedy, let's see the last item, last value, last table, that is int item statistic. So in here it indicate the last column, it indicate what will happen to the Cambridge alpha value. That means what we are getting earlier, Cambridge alpha value that is 0.206. What will happen to this value if one item by we delete? අපි එක item එකකින් item එක delete කරොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ? Right? Now look at C. If we remove TC1, that is our first item, Cambridge alpha value reduced to 0.142 from 0.206. again දැන්ට තියෙනවා 0.2.6 item number 1 එක අයින් කරොත් අපිට එනවා 0.142. Which one is great? Our initial one is greater value. Right? Initial one is great. So therefore, we don't need to remove that item number 1. Right? If you remove second one, again Cambridge value reduce. If you remove third one, alpha value reduce. If you remove fourth one, here what we can see now alpha value is going to increase from 0.206 to 0.214. Okay? If you remove number 5, item number 5, alpha value getting more increase for 286. So likewise, you can see that item number 5, if we remove it, the alpha value is going to be higher than what we get right now. Right? So this column getting help us. If you want to remove some item from our questionnaire, this give us a guide which item has to be reduced. මේක අපිට දෙනවා guide එකක් කොයි item එකද reduce කරන්න ඕනේ, remove කරන්න ඕනේ කියන එක. Okay? Now we are having so many issues here. Right? We are having so many issues. For item number 4, 5 and 2, majority of the value we are getting negative values. Right? Majority of we are getting negative values. Right? So this give us some hint whether they are negative form of questions. අන්න අපිට එනවා පොඩි ගැටලුවක් මේවා negative form questions ද කියලා. මොකද මේ response ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන සමහරව negative values අපිට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. Right? So then you can go back to your questionnaire and check whether items are positive or negative in your questionnaire. Right? If they are in a negative form, using our transform method, you can convert them into positive form or positive into negative form. Right? Then you can check the reliability again. You can check the reliability again. Right? Let's do it first. අපි ඒක නිකන් දැන් කරලා බලමු. Right? First, I want to change the TC5 value. I'm TC5 value එක change කරනවා මෙතනට ගිහිලා. Right? So compute transform, record into different values. Here we have already changed something. Right? Since TC2 also getting something, I will keep it. Right? Here I am going to change the TC5. Here I put new TC5, right, and change it. Now, since we are already checked, enter those things, I don't need to take it again. That's the most user friendly of the SPSS. එකපාරක් දැම්මට පස්සේ ආයේ SPSS එකේ දාන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. අපිට ඕන variable එක මෙතනට enter කරන්න විතරයි ඕනේ. Right? I click OK. Okay. So then I am running the reliability analysis again. So if you want to do the same analysis repeatedly, you can use this icon. ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැන් කරපු එකම විටින් විටම කරන්න ඕන නම් මෙන්න මෙතන recalling button එක use කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? So you can use the recalling button. Right? You can easily go with the previous measurements or previous analysis tool you are using. So I'm going to the reliability. Now I remove TC5 and I enter my new value. Right? So then I check OK and do the reliability. Here what you can see, alpha value, it's little bit okay, but it's still less than 0.6. Right? Now TC5, still we cannot see any change. Right? We cannot see any change. Right? Here also we can see if we remove it, it's getting high. Now TC1, remove it, we are getting higher Combrage value. Right? Here also I have been some issue with the TC6. Right? But its absolute value is okay. Therefore, I'm going to change the TC4 again. Right? So you can do this kind of trial and error method because that's the way you have to do with the SPSS. So මේ වගේ කරලා බලන්න වෙනවා SPSS වල හැම වෙලේම. Right? So then I go with the reliability again. Yeah, I remove this one and I enter this TC4. And tick okay, yes, it's nothing happened because Combrage value is getting more than less more than what we are getting initially. Right? So it doesn't matter. That means you have to remove items in your measurement items of TC2. Right? එතකොට මේකෙන් පෙන්නන්නේ TC2 ඒ කියන්නේ team commitment කියන measurement items වල ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. Either you have to rewording your questions or you have to change your question in your final questionnaire. දැන් මේක හරි වැදගත් හොදේ. ඒක අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම එතකොට අපිට අයින් කරගන්න වෙනවා ඒ questions ටික. Right? So this is why it is important to conduct pilot analysis. Okay? So let's do the other variable. Removing this one. Right? Now I am going to do with the consulting one. Let's see whether we are getting the same result. Right? And then tick OK. Okay, here what we are getting, the Combrage value somewhat okay. Okay, it's at least somewhat okay because it's greater than 0.6. Right? Now if you are checking with one by one, item number 1 at least having absolute value exactly 3 if you round it up. Others are okay. Here it's okay. Here this is okay because it is 0.3 to 0.9. Here also it's okay. Right? Here also we are at least value is there. At least value is there. And if you check this one, right? If you remove item number 1, the Combrage value is getting 0.644. That is greater than this value. Right? So here either you can change it, or since this is a pilot test, as well as the Combrage value is also greater than 6, you can go with all the measurement items as it is. Right? Without making any changes. So make a consulting කියන items 6ම යම් තාක් දුරට reliability එක පෙන්නුම් කරනවා. අපි main data collection එකට ගිහිල්ලාම අපිට බලන්න පුළුවන් මේක reliability එක okay ද නැද්ද කියලා. Right? Therefore you don't need to change anything in the consulting measurement items. You can go for a final data collection. But our first variable you have to change. Okay? Right. Let's go with the next one. Reliability analysis. I'm going with the next one. Observation. Okay, I'm ticking it. First of all, I need to clear these things. Okay. Okay, that is the observation. Here you can see alpha value is somewhat close to 0.6. Right, somewhat close to 0.6. Right, somewhat close to 0.6. අපි round කරොත් 0.6ට එනවා. And values are okay, 0.3, 0.4, here 0.4, here 0.4, and also 0.3. It's also good. Right? So that observation also we can take. The measurement items are okay, they are reliable. Right? So go with the last one. I think our dependent variable, that is a performance. Okay, check this performance. There are 5 measurement items. Then click OK. Here also we are getting somewhat less than 0.6. Right? Make a අඩුවෙන් එන්නේ. බලමු අපි if there are any issue. Right? So go with the first one. It's okay. Rating 3.29, 0.3 to 0.9. This one also okay. 0.3 to 0.9. 2 items are there. This one is also okay. This one absolute value at least here 1 is good. But if you are removing P4, you can see from this table, if you are removing it, the Cambridge alpha value is going to be higher than, that means 0.7. So this indicates you have to check whether the measurement item number 4 representing the performance variable, you have to make sure that whether it's keep it necessary or we have to remove it. මේක බලන්න තියන්න ඕනද කියලා නැත්නම් මේක වෙනුවට වෙන item එකක් ආදේශ කරන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම නැත්නම් මේක අයින් කරලා main data collection එකට යන්න පුළුවන්. So that's the thing we have to check with the reliability analysis. Right? ඕක තමයි අපි reliability analysis එකේ කරන්නේ. Right? We have to make sure that whether Cambra value is greater than 0.6 as well as inter-item correlation matrix are in between 0.3 to 0.9. Right? If you want to make sure that which item need to be removed in your final data collection measurement item, first check with the Cambridge value if item deleted. Right? If one item deleted, Cambridge value is getting higher than your initial one, either you have to remove it or you can rewording your measurement item. Since this is a pilot test, right? But main analysis, we have to do some changes. මේක pilot එකනේ අපි 30ක් වගේ ගානක ඉන්න කරන්නේ. ඒක හුඟක් හොඳයි මේ values අපි Cambra value එක ආසන්න වශයෙන් 6ට එන ඒවත් එක්ක එහෙමම යන එක. Right? So that's the thing we need to do with the pilot analysis. Okay? So that's the thing I want to share with you in the day 2 SPSS sessions, right? So I hope that you are understanding about what we discussed today in here. Okay, what we discuss here today, day 2, right? We do the frequency analysis based on the table and charts, but as an undergraduate, I prefer you can go with the tables, right? Because it's more professional, and we converting negative values into positive values. If your questionnaire is a mix with negative and positive form of questions, first you have to take it into the one platform. එක platform එකකට ගේන්න ඕනේ. එක්ක negative values වෙන්න ඕනේ, එහෙම නැත්නම් positive values වෙන්න ඕනේ. And then we check the pilot test. Under the pilot test, what we are doing is we check the reliability, right? Under the pilot test, what we are doing is we check the reliability. Right? We check the reliability, and here we know the Cambridge value, alpha value has to be at least greater than 0.6, but the standard is 0.7. But in the pilot test, we consider it as at least 0.6 is okay, right? And the inter-item correlation matrix what we need to do is we have to make sure that at least one measurement item with another measurement, right? At least one measurement item with other measurement item correlate with in between 0.3 to 0.9. At least, right? Not all things. At least one measurement item with other measurement item need to be correlated with in between 0.3 to 0.9 value. Right? If the values are not met, that means Cambra value is less than 0.6, and this condition is not met, either you have to rewording your measurement items or else you have to remove and put the next new item into that removing item. Right? Since this is a pilot test, don't try to remove as you wish, right? Since you are doing it in your final year, you have academic supervisor, take the advice from him or her and make sure that your measurement items are okay for the final data collection. Right? So අපි මතක තියාගන්න pilot test එකක් අපි අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම කරන්න ඕනේ structured question එකක් නා use කරන්නේ. මොකද හැම වෙලේම අපි බලන්න ඕනේ pilot test එකේදී initially, right? Initially in the pilot test, right? We want to make sure that your measurement, your questionnaire is clear, it is understandable, and the formatting is okay, and it is free of typing errors. And then we are checking the reliability. right? So pilot test එකේ මතක තියාගන්න අපි කොටස් දෙකක් තියෙනවා, right? So first part, in a pilot test first part we check the formatting, we check the understandability, right? We check the typing errors, and everything we are checking, right? That is the first part, right? For the second part we are checking this reliability. Okay, so that's the thing we are discussing today, and I hope you are getting more knowledge regarding how to do the SPSS analysis or SPSS software to make sure the frequency analysis with the pilot test analysis. So in the next time, we will meet you with factor analysis. That is one of the most important part in your SPSS analysis, right? Then up to now, you are very much familiar with how to enter data into the SPSS and how to make the data cleaning and how to do the frequency analysis or make your sample profile characteristics representation, and then the pilot test analysis. So then that's the end of the today's session, day 2 session, and see you in day 3 with the factor analysis. Thank you very much and stay safe.